this is Chantae Cann, and I'm here with Bullet Music.
Let's talk about hair. You said before that your hair is your centerpiece. Why do you say that, and what does your hair mean to you?
I would say my hair is my centerpiece because it's kind of how people recognize me. It's kind of like, hey, that's the girl, that's the singer girl with the big hair. Yeah. And so it's been, I have not been able to get away from my hair since I was little. It's always been something that has been like something significant that stood out about me. So just decided to embrace it.
What's the evolution of Chantae Cann looked like from as an artist from beginning to where you are?
Honestly, it's been very consistent. I say when I first started, I had more of a laid back, like I would wear Chucks to my performances or like a members only jacket, you know. So it's definitely evolved to a more eclectic, a more, I don't want to say feminine, but I guess I've just kind of grown into what feels comfortable for me. And so, yeah, this is kind of the final result.
And I saw you're originally from Cleveland, right?
I was born in Cleveland, raised in Chicago, and then spent my teenage years through the rest of my life here in Atlanta.
How did the move to the South impact either your style, your sound, your just process about how you...
That's a great question. I feel like I spent enough time in the South to kind of become more Southernized. I know when I first moved down here, people used to make fun of the way that I talk or certain words I would use that were kind of foreign to Atlanta. And then there were some words that they were using. I was like, what is a crunk? And what does it mean? And why are we saying it? But I later became Southernized. And I think I'm definitely a Midwesterner at heart. But the South kind of grew me into, like, you know, Southern hospitality. Like, there's just something really, we take our time, but we still get it done. And I think it's been a great thing to be cultivated by.
So when you're teaming up with the WERC Crew for your Journey to Golden remix album, how active were you in shaping those remixes versus just kind of sitting back and seeing what vision they had for your work?
It was definitely a joint effort, but honestly, I had done the majority of all the legwork on my end just because I had already just put out my first album, you know, Journey to Golden. So when the WERC Crew came in, they already had their guys, their group of people that kind of came in and remixed every song or reworked every song, and they turned out really, really good. Of course, I gave feedback on them if I wanted to hear like more of this or less of this, and you know, in the mixing process, I definitely had more hands-on time with that. But yeah, it was definitely a joint effort.
Yeah, how did that connection come about?
Well, we kind of the WERC Crew and I have heard about each other, like heard rumors about each other or of each other's existence in the Atlanta community for a little while, but then we actually got to meet at one of the Grammy member celebrations a couple years ago, and so those guys were up DJing, and then I actually sung, and so my management got contact with those guys and was like, yeah, maybe we should, you know, do some stuff together. And they also worked with a good friend of mine named India Shawn. They did a couple rework tunes on her too, which turned out great as well. So it was just a match made in heaven after that.
Was the work you did with Corey Henry for your newest album?
Actually, we didn't collab on my album yet, but we did a version of Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, but it was more so his musical inspiration. So that was it was a cool YouTube video, and got a lot of love on that. And so we're looking forward to collabing with Corey in the future. He's got a couple albums out as well, so I think the right time will come when we both can set aside some time for each other musically.
How long have you been working with the band you used on Soul Empowerment? I said it's got a tightness to the instrumentation that feels like you've all got a real good rapport.
So Soul Empowered, which is my latest album, is so cool because of the fact that I use musicians who I literally grew up with in Atlanta. When I first came to Atlanta, you know, I got into the music scene by kind of being in church and sneaking out to open mic nights and meeting a lot of musicians who we all kind of had the same, you know, commonalities. We just love music and we can't get away from it. So I've encountered lots of people like Anthony Parrish, Justin Gilbert, Ed Clark, Brian Cockrum. Those are all people that I've known forever in Atlanta. We've just gotten a chance to see each other blossom and go forth and just be an individually great at what they do and then come together for something special such as my album. So I'm really, really blessed to be able to work with those guys because they're my friends too.
Yeah. So what's the overall feeling that you're trying to push out to fans and people in general as an artist?
From the get-go, I've always been about inspiration. I call myself the inspiration junkie because I can find it in anything. Like, there's no story too big or too small, or there's no situation that I can't find inspiration from. So I want people to be inspired, uplifted, you know, motivated, encouraged, empowered. And so I try to let that resonate through my music.
What does soul empowered mean to you?
Soul empowered comes from a place of me dealing with some core issues on the inside of me kind of stripping myself away from certain viewpoints that may have been negative, certain ways that I may have looked at myself in a negative light and allowed like the world's image or the world's what they kind of wanted me to be, or however, you know how we kind of listen to the voices around us. But Soul Empowered is about me getting to the core issues that were kind of eating away at me and allowing myself to be healed and allowing myself to be whole and accepting the entire me so that I can become the whole me. And from that, I gained a sense of strength and empowerment, and that's what I want people to feel when they listen to it. Hey, I'm Chantae Cann, and I'm signing off with Bullet Music.